Hello and welcome to another Heart Moto video. In today's video we're going to be installing some DRLs to the Honda NC750X. Okay, so in today's video I'm just going to walk you through the process of installing these Oxford Products DRLs to the Honda NC750X. Now, I haven't recorded me actually fitting them to the bike, but I shall walk you through the process. Main reason being, on the NC, a lot of the work that you're going to do is in the frunk. So most of the time it's like the black hole of Calcutta in there, and you'll be just staring at the back of my head as I'm going through the process. But I have taken photos and we'll walk you through the process. So first things first is decide where you want them on the bike. So I've mounted mine on top of the handguards here. Hopefully you can see them okay. I should put some close-up photos in of where I've positioned them. You can, if you wish, put them on the sides of the front mudguard. If you've got crash bars, you could locate them on there. So that's where I've put mine, and then basically proceeded to run the cables into the frunk. Okay, I've just brought the camera in a little bit closer, so hopefully you can see here is where I've mounted the DRL on top of the handguard. So then basically run the cable down on the inside of the bodywork and then into the frunk area here. Now the way I've got that in is basically I've used a draw wire. So this is basically a cable liner that you would have in a bicycle frame. So it's quite rigid and flexible at the same time, so you can basically feed it through into tight spaces. So I don't know if we can see in here. I know it's like the black hole of Calcutta in here at the moment. Let me just move this lamp down. So where the battery sits, there's a gap in between the frunk and the outer bodywork. Plenty of room for you to run cables through. So I've basically run that draw wire through from the handguards into the battery compartment area. I've also run another draw wire through to the back of the bike. So that is here. So basically that will, what my plan is to attach to the switchable live on the rear light. So what I should do is make a connection at that point there, and then run it back to the front area into the battery area itself. Now I may use the junction box or I may not. I'm undecided at this point. I don't really want for any more accessories on this bike. I've got everything that I need. I've got my heated grips factory, got my phone mount with charger, all my other bits and pieces. So with the DRLs, that's probably the last thing I would look to add on this bike. So we'll see how we go. I may or may not use it. We'll see what we come across when we remove the rear light cluster, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so another little update. We've removed the tail tidy. So basically you have 4 bolts here underneath the pillion seat. They are a little tricky to get to. I used a flexi bar for the 2 in the corner there. If you haven't got that, then you may have to remove the seat. But if you lift the seat right back, you can get access to it. So basically you have the tail light connector there, and these two are your indicators. So unplug those, and the tail section comes off. So moving round, so what I've done is I've buzzed out the voltage and what have you. So we're getting a good 14 volts when the bike is running off of this one here. So this is obviously the one that goes to the number plate light. So what I'm going to do is tap into this, because I don't want to connect into the loom itself, just in case if there's any issues going forward. I can't see there being any, but basically just tapping into this and then run the cable through to the lights on the front of the bike. So that's where we're at the moment. So nice and straightforward. Like I say, I've 4 bolts there to remove. I put a little towel on there, so just in case it dropped while I was unplugging it. It was fairly easy to do, but if you've got someone who can give you a hand while you're unplugging the connections, then that would be the way to go. So right, I'm going to crack on and tap into this, and then we'll move on to the next phase. Okay, so just to add at this stage before we move on, if you wanted to install your junction box, you could basically connect your trigger wire to the brown wire here as well, and then basically just run that single wire to where you want to on your bike. Obviously on the NC, somewhere in where the battery and fuse compartment, it is pretty snug in there. There may be room, actually. There's another little compartment at the front of the frunk. I'll just show you here. There's another little compartment there. There may be room to house it in behind there. Like I say, I think on this occasion I'm not going to install it. I'm not planning of adding any more electrical devices to the bike. So basically what I'm going to do is just run in these cables here now. Basically they'll be tucked in low down underneath by the side of the fuel tank, following the line of the loom of what's actually already in there. So just basically run those through, and then we'll connect the lights up to the live and the neutral on the number plate light, and we should be good to go. Right, let's crack on. Okay, right, that's the lights now installed. I will be honest with you, it was a little bit of a faff. It was not as straightforward as I was hoping it was going to be, mainly due to the gauge on the wire on the light itself. It's very, very fine, so getting to it to crimp to hold was quite tricky. So what I've done is I've soldered the wires together. So basically, hopefully you can see down here, my apologies, my extra light battery is now gone flat. So I've joined the wires here. Now it's sat in a bit of inner tube, so it's protected. The join is protected from the elements as best as you can. So the join is in there, and then the red and the blue cable you see there, that basically now runs back to the number plate light connector. So basically all the loom itself I haven't touched. It's just the connector at the number plate end of where I've joined these two, the red and the blue, and I've used spade connectors, and I've insulated those as well. So that's that. So if we just pop the ignition on, the NC fires up, and we'll just walk round, and then hopefully you can see the DRLs on top of the handguards. Now I am hoping they're not too bright. Fingers crossed they shouldn't be. They don't look much brighter than the the orange amber indicators anyway. So but it'll certainly give me a lot more visibility out on the road, that is for certain. It's going to be a lot more brighter in here because obviously we're in the garage, and I have increased the exposure on the camera as well because the light in here isn't great. So fingers crossed, then when I go out on the road, I don't annoy fellow motorists, because that's the last thing I want to do. But until I get out and try it, we're not gonna know, are we? So so there we are. That's the DRLs installed. Fairly straightforward. I will be honest with you, it probably would have been easier using the junction box, and finding a home for that. Basically the light wires would have screwed into the junction box a lot easier than joining them here. But like I say, I didn't really feel the need for that, because I'm not going to add any more devices to it. Okay, so the installation of the Oxford Products DRLs is now complete on the NC. So just to summarise what I've done, so I obviously mounted the DRLs on top of the handguards, used a draw wire to get the cables through into the frunk, and then used a draw wire again to get the light cables to round the pillion seat, which I've soldered together. I wanted to use like a crimp connection, but I'll be honest with you, the cable gauge on this, the outer seems very, very good, but the inner, the cable seems very, very fine. So basically what I've done is wound it around one another on the additional wire that I've installed, soldered them together, insulated, and then basically just put the join into like a bicycle inner tube, if you like, and then insulated around that, and that basically sits neat and tidy underneath the rear pillion. You can't see it at all. It's well hidden, tucked in down the side. So from that point, we then spliced into the tail light. Sorry, the number plate holder. Apologies, bit of brain fog. The light in the number plate. So the reason I've done that was I didn't want to splice into the loom just in case there's any issues, going forward. I can't see no reason why there would be, but just be on the safe side. So if there is a point of failure, it will be that lead that goes to the number plate light. So all I have to do is basically just replace that one little cable and not mess around with the entire loom. So spliced into that to attach the positive and negative for the lights, and hey presto, away you go. Like I say, what you could have done at that point is just connect the positive and use the Oxford Products junction box. Like I say, I didn't really feel the need to install that on my bike. I've got all the gadgets and everything that I need already. Factory fitted, some I've retrofitted myself. So I didn't feel the need to go down that route. But like I say, that's something that you could have done at that stage. So going forward, I'd just like to say I'm not an auto electrician. I'm not a mechanic. I have been working on bikes all my life, my adult life. And I do have an understanding of how things work and how things should be done. But like I say, this is how I do it. This video is purely to show you how I've done it. It's not black and white. There's many ways you can do these jobs, but like I say, it's just for a reference, for a guide, for yourselves, if you have an NC or another bike for that matter, on how to install the DRLs. So let's pop the bike on so you can see it actually working. There we go. So I think they're going to give me a lot more road presence. They're nice and bright. They're no brighter than the headlight or the running lights on the indicator, but they just give me that little bit extra bit of visibility on a wider scale. So if I'm on the motorway or dual carriageway and I need to filter, people are going to more than likely going to pick those lights up than ever before. So there they are. There's the DRLs. Like I say, I mean, you can, if you so wish, you can mount them, where you please. I mean, if you've got crash bars, or if you wanted to mount them on the mudguard, you could do. And basically, the principle that I've done here, it would be the same for any other lights, really. So yeah, so there we are. As usual, I do hope you found this video of interest and of use. Please do comment in the comment section below, and I do hope you can join me again in future videos. Thanks again for watching. Cheerio!